Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Try Hard Entertainment Podcast.
Welcome.
We have been gone for about 4 or 5 weeks.
All John's fault.
Yeah, sure, that's what it is. uh but yeah, just scheduling conflicts. Good God, apparently I can't speak.
Sketching.
And apologize for all the boxes in the background right back there. I'm currently in the process of packing up.
Holy shit!
Packing up the house I currently live in because I'm getting ready to move at the end of this month. So
Both John and I are moving. No, we don't currently live together, and we're not going to be living together. I just found that interesting that we're both moving at the exact same time.
which I didn't even know that you were until like after like my wife and I had found out that like the move-in date and everything. It's a new house. And then you were just like, at the end of this month, I'll be moving into my new townhouse. Like, what?
I don't even know the address
What, to your townhouse?
to my new place. Yeah, so I had to I had to get the lights switched over. So they will be in my roommate's name when I move out. So the date we had set that for was the 27th. And apparently they mail you your last bill. So the lady was like, "And what's the address? The address of the new place so we can mail your bill?" And I was like, I don't know. So I just told her I just gave her my dad's address. Just mail it here. He'll let me know.
I mean, you haven't signed the lease or anything yet, have you?
No, I haven't official. No, I haven't signed a lease. No, I just did like the application or whatever. Yeah, I had to give like I've never had to do this. I've always rented from people that I know, and so it's just like, all right, here's the place. You just pay monthly, and if you want to move out, just give me like a month's notice at least. But so I've never actually signed a lease. It's all brand new. But I had to give like my credit report, job, like pay stubs or whatever, just proof that I have a job and I can afford where I'm going, I guess. But it took me way too long to get all that taken care of, but I got
it. We've already signed the lease and paid security deposit and all. Only we gotta do is pay the prorated rent, and then we'll get the keys. And Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, we're supposed to be doing a walkthrough of the property with the guy that we're dealing with at the rental agency, and then we're supposed to meet him like Friday morning, day after Thanksgiving, to get the keys so we can start moving everything in. So we are planning on having everything knocked out Friday. And I know you said you were I know you said you were moving on Saturday.
Well, I'm gonna try for Friday. I gotta talk to her. She's been like really sick, apparently. So there's been no communication there. But I'm hoping that made it worse. I'm hoping that since we're off work that Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving, that I can use it as an excuse to skip holidays and not do the family dinner thing. Because I only really care about my parents. Right. So, yeah. Hoping to. I'm obviously not going to skip Thanksgiving. But yeah, so I'm hoping for maybe Friday. And I want to know if like she'll let me, because the first is Sunday. So be like, I'll just pay you and you let me officially live there like the day after Thanksgiving, Friday, Saturday. So it'll be 2 days in the month of November.
Yep.
If she grants my wish. But she better not charge me for it.
Well, any place ever, it's usually like a prorated rent for those 2 days, technically, I guess.
Yeah. So I'm hoping I can get, but if not, then I'll just officially live there Monday, or that Monday the 2nd, I guess, or I guess the Sunday.
Yeah.
I always think of everything like a business schedule, so I never consider Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, because most of those places, they're not even open on the weekends anyway, and some of those places are actually off Thanksgiving Day and the day after.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know how they have their whole thing set up. It's a husband and wife. They own like several properties. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they have like an official like office space, or maybe they just kind of handle it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it'll be quite busy day on that Friday. It's gonna suck, but it'll be nice. It's bigger house, bigger yard, and actually have a driveway now.
More parking. That's the big thing.
And like when I showed you pictures of it, you were like, "Well, we could play football in that yard," which I would actually love to do. I haven't played football, like actual real life football, in quite a while. The last football I played was on a video game, so.
You just imagine a bunch of 30-year-old men out of shape tackling each other in your yard. That should be on YouTube.
Oh yeah, all it can be done. I mean, don't doubt it. I mean, have somebody record it and then post it on YouTube. It's labeled as a epic fails video.
So what do you want to get into first? Are we gonna do the little topics, or are we gonna jump into John Wick? Good God, you do have a lot of notes. What the fuck?
Shows you who's prepared.
You should see. I've never been much of a note taker, but dear Jesus, you got a lot of stuff on there. I just have like the main topics just written down.
Yeah.
Like for John Wick, it just says John Wick 2 and 3.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have notes to refer back to, like what to talk about. I just kind of will go for it.
Yeah, because we were talking at work, because you've actually been working like a 8 to whenever shift, so you're there when I am at work right now. And one day on lunch, we were talking about how whether to still do split up episodes, for one being for John Wick 2 and one being for John Wick 3. And we just kind of agreed upon making one episode talking about both the second and third John Wick, just because it really wouldn't be as much to talk about for the second one. And you said it was your least favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I man, it's gonna be a common thing throughout this recording, is me having to do that.
You know there's water like right over there, right?
Dude, I got Dr. Pepper.
Soda helps, yeah.
Yeah, John Wick 2 just, it didn't hold my interest like the other ones did. I mean, it was good. I'm not gonna say it was a bad movie. It just wasn't as entertained by it.
That's why I was gonna do That's why I was gonna do like the small topics and then lead into John Wick 2 and 3.
We can do it that way. We can save it as like a main event.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want your prize fighters coming out first. I get it.
But plus there's been quite a bit of news since the last episode.
How do you have like pictures of stuff saved in your notes. iPhones let you do that?
Mm-hmm. On the notes part.
Wonder if I can do that.
It might in the notes section. Like if you took a screenshot of something like a topic you wanted to talk about. But I had stuff pertaining to like
I'm having a hard enough time finding where my notes are. Okay.
Technology is not Nathan's friend. Talking about like Antonio Brown when it comes to football, because I originally started off my fantasy league with him as one of my key players.
Okay, yeah, I could do that too.
But
oh gosh,
yeah, and a lot of other stuff, including mentioning stuff about Disney and the Avengers movies. One about Henry Cavill or Cavill, however you want to say his name, Cavill, I think.
Yeah, I've always said Cavill.
Last of Us 2 update, the Star Wars movies that were supposed to be taking place after Episode 9, and another, like, quite a twist for character choice for the not the Nathan Drake, the Uncharted movie that's supposed to be coming out. Oh yeah. And kind of a twist with the Batman movie as well. But did you hear the update with the last update about Antonio Brown?
I heard he was going to have a meeting with the NFL.
Yep, it was supposed to be on Thursday, where apparently he's pushing for his return to the NFL, but is not expected to play again this season. And let's see. He's continuing to push for his return in the NFL. He's scheduled to meet with the league on Thursday, which I haven't heard any other updates since then. I will have to look back into that to address the allegations that he faces, but obstacles await the free agent wide receiver at every step.
I don't know why I did that.
I was like, why'd you throw your phone?
I'm going to be reaching for it again soon.
If he were to get an offer from any of the three teams that have been in contact with him, the NFL would be prepared to place him on a commissioner's exempt list, according to sources. If he's placed on the exempt list, the team that signed him would have to pay him until the league's investigations are resolved, which might not happen before the end of the season. Additionally, he has not turned over all the evidence to the NFL, which I don't know why, that has requested to gain a broader...
He's guilty.
Huh?
He's guilty.
Yeah. To gain a broader understanding of the case. Let's see. Even though one agent at ESPN is confident that he'll play again this season, which I highly doubt.
I wonder who would sign him. I wouldn't be mad if Dallas signed him.
Oh, that was another thing I was going to talk about too. Quoted that he said, "I believe the NFL should clear him after they interview him this week, and I expect him to be signed shortly after that." Which I don't see happening. See, after the NFL completes its investigation, additional discipline could await Brown, further affecting his chances of playing again this season. It could also stretch into next season as well. Apparently, Brown tweeted Thursday that he is determined to return to the NFL as soon as possible, backtracking from an earlier tweet.
Where he said, "Fuck the NFL, I ain't never playing for them again."
Where he said never play in the NFL again. He is ironically the same age as me, 31, being investigated by the NFL under personal conduct policy, following a lawsuit filed from
It's
his
two things you guys have in common.
former trainer. What the hell's the other thing besides age?
You're both 31. And you have rape allegations against you.
Well, I don't, but
I hate Antonio Brown.
well, he did good at one game he did play. Apparently, let's see. He was released by the Raiders before the season and by the Patriots before week 3. After he sent text message to the artist accusing him of misconduct. Brown has filed 8 grievances against the Raiders and Patriots. A source told ESPN he is seeking $39.775 million in lost salary, bonuses, and guaranteed money.
Yeah, he won't be getting that.
No.
Like, what do you want salary for? You didn't play.
Yeah, that's just insane. $39.775 million.
I'm going to sue some company I used to work at for back salary.
Yeah.
Paying me for not working.
That you got fired from.
Last job I got fired from. I think it was like early 2017 or 16. But that was bogus.
I'll say I don't know. I don't even remember where you were working back then.
I was working for a place that like checks fire extinguishers and suppression systems, sprinkler systems ish, stuff like that. Fire alarms.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Because I was when I was working at J. Crew, I believe, in a distribution center.
And after working a long night, all through the night, I go home, shower, get in bed, and then they call me. We need you to come to the shop. We need to talk about stuff. And I was like, can we not talk about it on the phone? No. And then I get there, and he fires me and told me, this is what he told me. I don't remember the words exactly, but he basically said, I didn't like the fact that you argued with me about having to come back in here. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because I remember you coming into the distribution center when I worked there, when y'all were having to check the fire extinguishers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, that place was awful. It was a paycheck, though. And at that point, it's all I cared about.
It was just a job. But also, I don't know if you knew it, but Disney CEO Bob Iger says the Avengers team is disassembled for now.
Mm-hmm.
You have heard about that?
Only because you were talking about it this week.
Yeah. There are no plans for another Avengers movie right now.
But, I mean, it makes sense. Because they're not even doing anything with... I know there's Black Panther, Doctor Strange...
Yeah, Doctor Strange is this phase.
There's the Black Widow, but she's dead in the current time. Yeah. But I mean, so point being, they're not really touching on the current Avengers team. They're not doing those movies outside of like 2 or 3 of them, I think.
Which
they're bringing in a bunch of new characters, so it makes sense. There's no storyline there to like feed from to make an Avengers movie.
Which I think Was Guardian 3 announced for this phase?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I can't remember. But I know Black Panther 2 probably wouldn't be till phase 5. Which they're just going to start phase 4. But he said there are no plans for another Avengers movie right now, so it's looking like we may have to wait till phase 6 to get another Avengers movie as of right now. But things could change before then, so we will have to wait to find out. But it does make sense with them introducing the X-Men and Fantastic Four into the MCU during the next couple of phases. So, to make room for them to be brought into the MCU, it would make sense to not have another huge movie like the Avengers be countering itself. Kind of like it did with the Endgame and Captain Marvel. The way they came out with Captain Marvel, then not long after Endgame came out. Which it just seemed like Captain Marvel was kind of like, oh yeah, this is this character, kind of give you a backstory. Oh, here's Endgame, the major movie event. So I don't know, just the way they did Captain Marvel and Endgame is kind of like, here's Captain Marvel if anybody cares, but it's not necessary to see before you go watch Endgame.
Yeah, it wasn't really.
So,
What was she in Endgame? Just like a floating person
pretty much,
in the sky?
she saved Tony Stark from space, him and Nebula. And then she kind of disappeared and then didn't show up till pretty much the end of the movie. When they were getting the crap beat out of them by Thanos again and all his massive army.
I'd have to watch it again to see, but I wonder if they could have introduced her that way and then done her movie.
They could have, yeah. They could have done it, but I guess they didn't, just for the sake of not doing it the DC route.
Yeah.
But have faith in Kevin Feige, because he seems to know what he's doing when it comes to those movies. He's made a lot of good MCU movies. Which then also, you got him that's supposed to be making, at some point in time in the future, he's supposed to be making a Star Wars movie. I just have no clue about when or what it's going to be about. Because with episode 9, that's finishing the Skywalker saga. Which there was supposed to be a trilogy after the end of episode 9 that's supposed to be starting like a new, I guess it was supposed to be like a post Skywalker era that's supposed to be launching in 2022, but apparently David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, the duo who launched 2011, known for Game of Thrones, apparently had walked away from their much publicized deal with Disney's Lucasfilms to launch the feature film trilogy in 2022. They were supposed to do it, but apparently they are too busy with their historic deal with Netflix to be able to juggle both. And they said that their enthusiasm for Star Wars remains boundless, but regrettably, their schedule is full. So I'd rather them basically walk away if they can't juggle both at the same time, because then you'll have a disaster of one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, one won't get the attention.
And then, like I told you at work, how apparently Marvel is eyeing God, I need more sleep. Henry Cavill to play the Captain Britain at some point in the MCU, which I don't think it's completely confirmed, but it is being talked about.
I saw something that said that they fear that he's like expected to turn it down.
Who, Henry Cavill?
Yeah.
I have not heard about that. but I could see it. I guess depending on what all he's got going on. I know that one of the biggest things he's got going on, which is obviously finished filming, is The Witcher on Netflix. Which gotta wait till December 20th for that, but I'm excited for it.
There's a handful of movies in the MCU that are coming out in Phase 4 that I've never heard of.
The Eternals, I kind of feel like they're going to be bringing Thanos back in as a younger Thanos, because he was originally one of the characters in the Eternals before he became like the Mad Titan that he was in the Infinity Saga.
So the Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
Legend of the Ten Rings, never heard of it. The Eternals I've heard of, just with Thanos, but I don't know anything about them. Inhumans.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I don't know anything about.
Then you get a few of them that are going to be on Disney Plus, like Scarlet Witch and Vision. I forget what it was called. WandaVision. That is what it is. Obviously the Black Widow movie. What was it? I think Hawkeye TV series. Obviously Falcon and Winter Soldier. All those will be Disney Plus events that supposedly tied into the MCU, including the Loki series too.
I need to get Disney Plus.
$6.99. You get like a 7-day free trial.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, what?
The guy looks weird on that achievement.
Oh yeah.
Especially his crotchal region.
But if you do, one to help. Fam for Gamers, thank you for that host. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, fam. Sup?
But if you do get it, I would highly suggest watching The Mandalorian, because that is a great TV series, like TV show.
So are they? Do they? They're gonna release episodes weekly.
Every Friday.
Yeah. That I've heard a lot about The Mandalorian.
It's such a great show. There's 2 episodes so far. One episode, the first episode launched when Disney Plus launched, and then they launched the second episode yesterday, Friday. I had to remember what day of the week it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew it would be a good series in general because, I mean, Disney has been putting $10 million each episode into that show. So, I mean, that's an insane amount of money per episode for the TV series. And even if it's 8 episodes in a season, you think about what that equals out to that they will have spent in one season alone.
$3 billion. That's what I got. That's what I figured up. What'd you come up with? 80 million.
There you go. Jose, come on now. 10 and 8.
10 and 8. Yeah, 3 billion. That's crazy. It's a lot of money for a TV show. They hit 10 billion. Jesus. 10 million subscribers on day 1. And apparently their servers were...
Oh, yeah, it was taking a blow. I noticed at the launch date, it was kind of touch and go.
But, I mean, I don't... Like... So, obviously it was more than they had expected. But I want to know whose job it is to come up with those expectations. because they suck. I mean, I feel like anybody could. I mean, I knew that it was gonna blow up and be huge. Look at all the stuff they offer,
And
it's $7. Netflix is $12. You don't get shit. I mean,
Yeah.
Netflix is alright, but it's like $12 or whatever it is now, and then you get $7 to relive your childhood and watch all the Marvel stuff
and Star Wars stuff.
and Star Wars stuff
And they're just gonna
and Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Which they're gonna be adding to it as well, like when their contracts end on different platforms, like with Netflix and everything else that they have on different platforms. They are gonna pull it off those platforms, and it will only be on Disney Plus. They're just basically waiting on their contracts to end on the different platforms so they can pull their stuff off of those and put it on Disney Plus.
I'm just not sure who was like, I mean, there's no way we're gonna hit 10 million
in one day. Or before one day.
I mean,
even.
I guess it is like a crazy number to think of, but I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't say new because I can't predict the future, but I had a hell of a hunch that it was gonna be huge.
Oh yeah,
huge.
Especially all the stuff that they were going to be bringing out of the vault. Huge.
Huge. You're going to build the wall. It's going to be huge. It's the worst Trump impression.
But how they were advertising all the stuff from the vault are going to be on there, or pretty much most of it, if it's not all of it. And then the Star Wars stuff, like obviously Mandalorian, then announcing the Obi-Wan series, all the Marvel stuff and the upcoming Marvel stuff. I mean,
it's a lot of content for $7.
Yeah, and they will definitely make their money off of it for sure. I mean,
so if you go $7 a person, 10 million subscribers, it's $3 billion.
Everything equals to 3 billion. 1 and 1 is 3 billion.
Except for when I count the money in my wallet.
Yeah.
Let's see what I currently have in my wallet, John.
With effort, it
I
will
never
become
carry
3
cash.
billion, okay? If you count it right.
I have $1. That's what's in my wallet.
That won't even get you a soda. Well, it might get you a canned drink. That's about it.
If you can find one of those vending machines anymore.
Or a candy bar or something. But
yeah, that's what I'll use it on.
yeah, that's... Man. That's crazy.
I've told so many people it's going to be the only streaming service I use. I've actually already canceled. Well, I get Hulu for free from Sprint.
Same.
Yeah, so I would get the bundle. Let's talk about that for a second. Let's do some free advertising for our 20 viewers. So, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus for $12.99. That's phenomenal. But I get Hulu free, and ESPN Plus is $4.99. So getting them separate would still be cheaper by like $1 for me because I get Hulu free. But
yeah,
but that bundle, man, it's crazy. That's what you pay for Netflix, and you get 3 services.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I don't watch Hulu much is because of the commercials,
the ads. Yeah,
but outside of that, it's good.
I mean,
something airs on TV and it's on Hulu the next day. I guess for the most part. Maybe there's stuff that's not, but
Netflix used to be that way. Like with Legend of the Seeker, when that came on TV.
I don't even know what that is.
I have the seasons of it. But when that came on TV, it would premiere like on a Friday or Saturday, and then by the next day Netflix would have it up for you to watch on Netflix. They used to do it that way, but then they stopped. They pretty much stopped doing one episode a week. just so that you could binge watch an entire season instead, and then have to wait even longer before the next season comes out. Like all the Marvel stuff, Daredevil, like I did, and Punisher. Freaking binge watched them because they were so good, and then you're like, oh crap. And then Stranger Things, which I still need to finish watching the third season or second. What is it? Second season? I think they got up. Second, I think.
I don't know. I've never watched Stranger Things.
It's been a while, but I know I haven't. I never finished the newest season that they released.
I still need to watch season 2 of Jack Ryan.
I do too.
I was waiting for it to come out, and then it's been out for like 2 weeks now, and I haven't watched it. I'm awful.
Which, I mean, I have Amazon Prime. I get Prime Video because I pay for Amazon Prime for the shipping, the 2-day shipping and everything, because I do order a lot of stuff from Amazon. Which, there in turn, you also get, if you use Twitch, you get the Twitch Prime for free to get that free month sub. Which is also a nice thing that Amazon did with Twitch, since technically, I think Amazon does own Twitch, so.
Yeah, they do. They bought them.
It's a nice little roundup.
For like, all right, I'm going to look that up, because I remember that was a hell of a deal. Not hell of a deal, like, man, you got a steal. Like, it was expensive. And it surprised me how expensive it was.
$3 billion. No.
That's what it says. $3 billion. That's crazy.
Oh.
August 2014 for $970 million.
Wow.
Yeah, like that was 2014.
Yeah.
That was like right around when I first started watching it.
That is crazy. And then before that, it was
I started watching it, I think, like March of 2014, because I was living in Roanoke.
Yeah.
I started watching like Lyric and Summit,
and
people like that. And then months later, it was purchased for almost $3 billion. $970 million.
That's crazy. But if Amazon's gonna buy it, they're gonna do it right. So
I wonder what if they bought it today. Although I don't know if it. I mean, who's to say it would have grown like it has without Amazon? I mean, I think it would have grown, but maybe not quite the same way.
Which I don't remember if with Twitch, I don't remember when it transitioned over from Justin TV to Twitch. I don't remember if it was before or after Amazon bought them. But I know Twitch TV used to be Justin TV years ago. But one thing that I noticed a few days ago when I was on Steam looking around is the advertisement for Death Stranding, where it is coming to PC in summer 2020, which I thought Death Stranding was only going to be a PS4 exclusive.
I'm really excited to play Death Stranding because I know zero about it. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that excites me.
Well, I know this. You also, like, everything that you carry, you also have to like maintain his balance because he will fall over and drop everything if you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Daryl thing because it's Death Stranding is the what was it? What's the word I'm looking for? It's like the I guess like the spiritual descendant successor of the PT demo thing that came out like a while ago. They were making like a Silent Hills game or Silent Hill, and that got scrapped, and then it became Death Stranding. So all I knew about it was Kojima and Daryl, Norman Reedus, and yeah, so that's all I know. And I haven't looked up anything about it, and I'm excited about it because it's Kojima and Daryl.
Like, I've seen videos that people's done on YouTube, like Jacksepticeye, for example. He's been doing a playthrough of it. I haven't watched all of them, but it is an interesting game, to say the least. I do not have it yet, but I do plan on getting it.
Yeah, I'm
eventually.
At some point.
Eventually, because I know that game will probably take a while to beat.
What?
Just like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a lot bigger of a game than I thought too, which I'm happy about, because I would not want that game to be a really short game.
Did you beat Call of Duty yesterday?
No, I played Star Wars yesterday.
Oh my god.
I played about 4.5 hours of Star Wars yesterday.
Should have just beaten Call of Duty.
Because I know Call of Duty, I'll probably do that next. I'm sure it's not that much. It can't be with so much left to Call of Duty, because I know their campaign is not that long.
Yeah, it's short. It's like 6-7 hours. Really, I'm about to play through it again. I'm gonna try to. So I think I mean I beat it on regular. I think I'm gonna run through it on like recruit, just to plow through it, and then I'm gonna do it again on like the harder difficulties, and see if I can do it that way. Because on regular, man, I had a tough time in certain levels and stuff. It's like, oh my god.
Oh, I know. I'm going through it on regular since it was the first time playing that game. Same with the Star Wars game, just because it's the first playthrough of it. I just did regular, which there's parts of both games that just can be hard in itself, just on that difficulty, until you learn everything about it and how everything works.
With Call of Duty being so short, I think that's something I can handle. Playing it on the harder difficulty.
Because as you probably know, well, I mean, I can't think of any more like PlayStation exclusives or big games that are coming out anytime soon. At least that I can remember off the top of my head. Except for obviously The Last of Us Part 2, which that has been pushed back. It originally went from February to now May 29th, 2020.
Sounds like a pretty good birthday gift for me. My birthday's May 30th.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and then running on the PlayStation topic of like that stuff. I hope that one day that they'll do a live well, it's not necessary, but it would be cool to see, especially with Nathan Fillion playing the part as it. But if they made like a live action Uncharted movie, because he did that fan film, as they called it, with Nathan Fillion, and he was like a perfect Nathan Drake. Which they're making one, but it's like a young Nathan Drake when he first met Sully type thing, which I don't know how I feel about the casting of Sully in that movie.
Who's playing Sully?
Care to take a guess? Somebody that you probably wouldn't expect.
Keira Knightley.
Well, it'd have to be a guy. And think of somebody that
Kevin Knightley.
that wouldn't fit that role at all. At least in my opinion. Though he is a good actor, though, so I don't know. He might.
Eugene Levy.
No. Mark Wahlberg. And he's actually on the cast list now, so apparently it is for sure now. Before it went from him being in final talks of playing Victor Sullivan to now him being actually on the cast with Tom Holland, which right now they're the only two on the cast for that movie. So it shall be interesting.
We just have to see how it plays out. Maybe he's gonna be great.
Like I said, he's a good actor, so he might be able to pull it off. But I mean, it's kind of like it is with the Batman movie for Oswald Cobblepot, the Penguin, of who they are rumored to cast for that. It's kind of odd. They're in talks of Colin Farrell playing that role in the Batman.
What?
What are you doing?
I'm doing Facebook Live because I didn't get a countdown.
Oh, you're doing it while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah. So, we're currently live and recording. Doing this gives everybody a notification. So, hopefully that works. But yeah. So go to twitch.tv/musiciangamer76 and check it out. Or wait until it's uploaded on one of 8 different YouTube channels.
2.
One of 3 billion different YouTube channels.
Watch the episode to find out what the 3 billion's about.
and check us out. Also, we accept Venmo and PayPal. And I ended it right there.
Wow.
All
right. I guess, when I upload it, I do it to the actual YouTube channel for Try Hard first. And then I upload it to mine since there's still people that watch it on mine. And then on Twitch, just to keep people options available.
Gosh. So tired of being congested.
Sounds like you're sniffing.
Alright. Anything else we got before we go into John Wick?
And then primarily just the whole Tom Hardy doing the 4. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Everything equals up to be 3 billion. No. The trilogy that he signed on for Venom. Which I'm sure you already knew.
Well, I knew about a sequel. I didn't know it was a trilogy.
As of right now, yeah.
And he was the only thing that I liked about that movie.
Yeah, and he matched the whole Eddie Brock persona a lot better than Topher Grace did and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was
that still today, till today, still kind of irks me. Even how old that movie is. Sam Raimi, what were you thinking? No, the video's not frozen. No. I was looking at the camera and wasn't moving, and then you were looking down at your phone and won't moving.
all right.
Oh yeah. Speaking of John Wick, my team is still number 1, 200 points ahead on the fantasy league. Because my fantasy
got to do with John Wick?
Because my fantasy team is called John Wick. All right.
Oh,
we're 8-2.
I was really waiting for that connection there.
That's the connection.
Speaking of John Wick,
my fantasy team is John
I've had
Wick.
Diarrhea.
What?
For 3 days.
3 billion years.
I've pooped 3 billion times. I will never not make poop jokes.
Banana.
Banana.
I heard to this day, even when you started using a mic, you were always like, banana.
Oh.
And it's the legacy still carries on.
Shout out to Psych. Banana. All right. Are we diving in? We're an hour into this thing already.
Yeah. It was a lot of topics. We were gone for 4 or 5 weeks, So it was a lot to touch on.
We talked about moving. We talked about Marky Mark. Talked about Venom.
Disney Plus.
Talked about Disney and their great bundle deal. Yep. We didn't talk about the fact that I got 2 quarter pounders from McDonald's. Buy one, get one for $1. And a large Dr. Pepper. And I ate too much. Banana. And now it's John Wick time.
That's right.
Everybody load up your pistols. Screw on your silencers. That sounded like a squirt bottle. And, get out of here, cat. And let's discuss my least favorite movie of the trilogy. John Wick. Is it chapter 2?
John Wick 2.
2.
No, I guess you consider it chapter 2, but it was just John Wick 2.
John Wick 2. This 3 is chapter 3? Parabellum?
Yeah. John Wick chapter 3, Parabellum.
One of them has chapter in it. It ain't the first one.
That was the second one called. The second one had a name. You know what?
No, it was just John Wick 2, I think.
It may have been.
Chapter 2.
I haven't seen it in a while, so.
It was John Wick chapter 2. Making me think I'm wrong.
You're wrong. Yeah, it is chapter 2.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
And then you get.
It's just John Wick 3 Parabellum.
Chapter 3 Parabellum.
Damn it. There's too many names. They're just adding a word.
As I just freaking forehead butt the mic.
John Wick chapter 4. And then it's going to be followed by 2 words. Monkey statue.
Banana.
Okay, so John Wick 2
Dun, dun, dun.
is just like days or something after the conclusion of John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The opening act is him going to what's his name? Vigo? The guy from the first one? Vigo and Yosef? I know Yosef.
Yes.
Damn. His brother's little chop shop thingy, I think. And retrieving his
Mustang.
glorious Mustang.
Yeah, because it started off with like a car chase scene.
Yeah. And the Mustang gets
wrecked.
punished.
Literally.
The whole scene's pretty good. John Wick goes into the office and spares the guy. And just pretty much
he killed him with a fucking pencil. The Baba Yaga. I love the guy who played him too.
Yeah, he's yeah. He does the exact same character in every movie that he's in. He's a very niche. How do you say that word? Actor, but he's good.
Yeah.
He's good at that role. It works for him.
Plays a lot of like Russian characters too.
Yeah, like Russian evil people. That's what he plays. Every time in the credits it says Russian evil person, and then it's his name. But John Wick spares his life and calls for like peace. So lets him live under the agreement that there will be peace. Which, I guess from that side of it, there was. But for John Wick, there was no peace.
Yeah.
Oh my god. What was his... I'm so bad at remembering names.
Who are you thinking of?
The fucking the main guy. The main baddie from 2. I remember his sister's name, Gianna, but I cannot remember his name.
Aurelio, Winston, Jimmy. Wait, does it not have him listed?
Santino.
Oh yeah, it just doesn't have his picture. That's why I overlooked it.
So
Santino D'Antonio.
Santino D'Antonio. Is that it? Is that what it is?
D'Antonio.
Yeah, D'Antonio. Comes to his house and has this marker. And the marker is a blood oath.
Mm-hmm.
Because Santino helped him get out, helped him retire.
Which I think is the first time they actually introduce that whole blood oath thing into the John Wick movies, because it's brought back in the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Essentially the same way like he did in the 2nd one. Kind of he does it to, well, it was done to him in the 2nd one. He kind of does in the 3rd one.
We'll get to it, John. We'll get to it.
The point being,
we're still on chapter 2. Halle Berry looked really good. All right. But and he is he's hesitant at first, and then he goes to talk to Winston, I think. And Winston pretty much tells him, like, see, this was one thing, unless I'm wrong, which in itself would annoy me, because I don't want to be wrong. But, like, so the first one, it's like, the only rule is you do not shed blood on continental grounds.
Yep.
And then in chapter 2, it was the only 2 rules is do not shed blood on continental grounds, and you have to honor the marker. You have to honor your blood oath. So that irked me. That was one thing that irked me about chapter 2. Was okay, we're just creating rules now. There was only 1 rule at first. Now there's 2 because it's convenient for the storyline. But anyway, I won't dive too far into that.
And that's after he goes and buries all his gold and everything else back in the ground and dug up.
Yeah.
At the end of the 1st one.
And
then that's when
I forgot a big one.
Then that's when he came and that's when Santino came knocking on his front door.
Yeah. And then Santino like does that, and then he pretty much he declines, refuses, and then Santino blows his house up.
Yeah, with the rocket launcher.
Yeah, and so blew his house up. And then he goes and talks to Winston.
Which the fact of the reason why he came there with the blood oath in the first place is because he basically wants John to kill his sisters so he can take her place at the high table. Which is kind of messed up.
Yeah. Yep. So then, after John talks to Winston, he then agrees to honor it. Then he sets up a meeting. And that's when he tells him that he wants him to kill. Santino tells him that he wants him to kill his sister Gianna, so that he can claim her seat at the high table. And yeah, so I mean, the high table is just like this governing body of the assassins, this underground
It'd be kind
ring of assassins.
be kind of like what the Jedi Council is to Star Wars. as what the high table is to John Wick.
I love that you just go Star Wars.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they've got like a high table as like the
Right.
council, and then that you answer to if you're a Jedi, obviously. Just like if you're an assassin in that universe of John Wick, you answer to the high table.
Mm-hmm. It's like a board of advisors and trustees. But yeah, so then that happens. John Wick goes through with it, and when he finds Gianna, like a freaking OG, she decides. She says something like she's gonna determine her own fate, and slits her wrists in a bathtub, and then John Wick shoots her. Now, my thinking was John Wick had to shoot her because that was him fulfilling the oath.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't. I mean, she couldn't just kill herself. But I read a different take on that or heard it, something, I don't know, that he shot her in the head to God. It's basically to make sure that she doesn't suffer like eternal damnation, because then she doesn't technically kill herself. John Wick shoots her in the head. So to save her soul, to rescue, God, geez, that was the word I was looking for. To rescue her soul, he shot her in the head. And that's interesting, and that could be it. I think it's not that deep. I think he just did it because he had to assassinate her.
Mm-hmm.
In order to fulfill this blood oath. So when she was pretty much all but dead, he shot her. Then he gets into a fight with Common.
Common.
Yes.
Which one was Common? There's Cassian, but
The actor is Common. His name is Common.
oh yeah, that is his name.
Yeah.
I was referring to actual character, but yeah.
Yeah. He gets in a fight with Cassian. Cassian is like Gianna's like right hand man.
Which is like a pretty decent matchup for John in a fight.
Yep. And then they wind up busting through a window of like the
Continental.
yeah. And where was he at? Rome or something? I feel like it was somewhere in Italy. Is where he was at, and they busted through the window of the Continental. Technically, at that point, they're on Continental grounds, and they were forced to stop. And then they had a drink together.
Well, it was kind of like the fight was kind of like the stupid fight that was going on between Peter and the chicken and Family Guy. The way like their fight, they would just end up all over the freaking place until it ends up with them two smashing through the window at a Continental, and they're like, "Excuse me,"
Yep.
and then they go to the bar and go have a drink together after it all.
So Cassian gives him a drink, buys him a drink or whatever, and says, "Consider it a professional courtesy." And something else along the lines of like, "This isn't over. Like I will hunt you down." And then Santino turns it around on John Wick and puts a bounty on him. $7 million. $7 million for the murder of his sister. And also he had claimed a seat at the high table, but I guess just to kind of cover his tracks and leave no loose ends, he put a bounty on John Wick for murdering his sister.
Even though he had no remorse.
And then ensued a really cool string of events where everybody is trying to kill John Wick, and he is just writing them off one by one. And then we talked about this earlier this week. The scene where Cassian's like up on this walkway, and John is down, and they've got like their silenced pistols kind of like close to their chest, and they're shooting at each other. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
That scene was pretty cool.
Or they're just kind of...
Nobody notices. And there's a
they're
gunfight
walking,
going
just...
on. Yeah. Cassian's like... And John's...
And John's like,
and they're like looking at each other, and it's like, "Fuck you doing?" That was a cool scene. I liked it.
And John was doing it like through his jacket pocket too, I believe, to make it not obvious in the crowd. As he's walking, like looking up at him. Oh no, he's got it like right.
Okay, yeah,
like
yeah.
right that,
I
like
thought,
right
I thought
at his
it was
stomach.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like right there at his chest. He just like Cassian just like he has his jacket, and he pulls it out and shoots down at him, then he puts it back up and keeps walking.
I like, if I remember correctly, I like the fact that they're looking at each other like, Jesus, would you die already?
Yeah,
They're just annoyed with each other. And they can't hit one another.
They keep hitting everything around them except it, and John kept hitting those pillars that he kept walking. Cassian kept walking behind,
and nobody noticed a thing. Nobody cared.
I guess it was loud enough there, and with them using suppressors, it kind of drowned out the noise of the little slight noise that you'd hear from the suppressor. So it legitimately made it completely silent.
Little sidebar from that. Little sports update. Tua Tagovailoa apparently has a very serious hip injury that he suffered today playing against Mississippi State.
Oh, you're talking about college, okay?
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
like, what?
Alabama's quarterback.
That was a whole totally like squirrel moment.
Yeah, well, I got the thingy-mabobber. Schefter's tweeting about it.
So, yeah, John Wick and Cassian were finding squirrel.
Tua. I wonder. I need to look, but I wonder. His little brother is a quarterback at Alabama too. He's a true freshman. He was warming up when Tua got hurt. I wonder if his brother came in and played, or if they went with the other guy, like Mac Jones or whatever his name was. Anyway, all right. So back to John Wick. Tua, hope you get better. Hate Alabama, but you're a talented dude and a fellow lefty.
That's right.
All right. So where were we at? The John Wick 2. Just that little gun exchange right there.
Yeah. Which eventually made their way to the subway train.
Yes. And like a knife fight ensues, and John sticks a knife in his chest
Aorta.
somewhere around this area.
Yeah, pretty much like in the aorta, where if he removes it, he'll basically bleed out in no time and die.
And he tells him, if you remove it, you'll bleed out. And then he says, consider this a professional courtesy. And he walks off the train. So that came full circle. Man, I'm drawing a blank. I'm not cheating like John is. John's currently got the movie on his phone. What happened next, John?
The
Bowery King?
Yeah, he the homeless guy is part of the whole
Yeah, he helps him escape.
league or whatever they are called. He comes up to him because he's dressed up as a homeless guy sitting in the subway, and he just he crawls underneath like a blanket or whatever, and he covers him up because he knows people are gonna be looking for him. And just kind of his way to get to.
I love how those like cleaners are everywhere. Whenever anybody dies in this like assassination ring, the cleaners are there to just scoop the bodies up.
Give them a coin or 2 coins, and you're good to go. And they burn the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Or he made it seem like he was dead or something like that. The Bowery King himself, Lawrence Fishburne.
Just my type. Nah.
The King, as he calls himself. I forgot that all the way Lawrence Fishburne talks in that movie. He kind of talks like I should say like a pastor or preacher in church. John Wick.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's where the Bowery King comes into it, who is Lawrence Fishburne, and that's a cool moment, reuniting Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne.
Neo and Morpheus.
Yep.
So this is the outcome of taking a blue pill.
Yeah. It's been a long journey for the one, but he's here.
To be tied in with Matrix 4. Not really, but.
Ugh. Yeah. Yeah. But he asked the Bowery King for help finding
Santino.
Why does that? I keep confusing. I keep mixing his first and last name. I keep thinking Santonio. But yeah, Santino. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like Santino shaking.
The last name's like D'Antonio.
Yeah, it's D'Antonio, and I keep thinking Santonio in my head. So then he finds him. Oh, and then there's that badass chick that's like working for Santino.
Yeah, be seeing you, John Wick. Not if I see you first. She's like mute.
Yeah, they're talking to each other in sign. That's pretty cool. Human fall flat achievement. But yeah. So she was keeping an eye on him for like a while. And anyway, then they get to this little thing. This whole like fight breaks out. He kills everybody, including the really cool mute chick. And trying not to look at your phone.
So it's like a hallway of mirrors? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little fun house, a mirror fun house. And he kills everybody. Santino like escapes or something, or gets away.
Runs like all the bad guys.
Retreats to the Continental. And while he's sitting there, I think he's like eating breakfast or something, but he's sitting there, and there's Winston, and there's John Wick, and there's Santino. And he is essentially boasting to him or whatever, like, I'm going to stay here like indefinitely, and you can't touch me because I'm on Continental grounds. And John Wick shoots him in the fucking face. In the face. And then Winston's like, what the fuck did you do that for?
Yeah, he's like, all right. He goes, I know the rules, but fuck it. Boom. It's like, I don't care anymore.
No. Smokes him. Right there.
And Winston's just like, oh, God, why did you do that? You know what I have to do now. Yep. The excommunicado.
Yep. So then he labels him excommunicado, gives him an hour
head start
before the order is released. And then that is where John Wick Chapter 2 ends. As he's walking through the park,
Central Park,
and all these assassins are there, and they're getting alerts on their phone, and they're just watching John Wick walk past them, knowing they can't touch him for 60 minutes.
And eventually, he goes from a walk into like a jog.
Oh, and he tells Winston, make sure everybody knows that whoever comes after me, I will kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And in John Wick Chapter 3, that is exactly what he does.
But I love the John Wick 3 though.
Yep. What time is it? Oh, that was my phone, I swear. 4:04. Okay, so
especially Mark DeCasso's character,
the Japanese assassin.
Yeah, I loved him in that movie. He's like a kid seeing a celebrity that he's always dreamed of meeting. to John Wick. Even like aside of what the reason is that he's supposed to be seeing John Wick for. But I did like how John Wick 3 starts off exactly where the second one left off, which is basically reiterates the whole
Yeah, it starts
bounty and everything.
It starts like either right at that point or mere minutes after. I don't know, but it's right there is where it starts. So John, here's my question.
Final countdown for it.
What's that? My question to you is: do you want to tackle 3 now, or do you want to wait? Because we're almost an hour and a half into this. I like 3 a lot.
So there's gonna be a long topic.
So I can talk about 3
for a long period of time.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
That was a very certain sure.
I don't know which one I like more between 1 and 3. I think, well, story wise, even though there's not too much, well, I don't want to use the word story. I guess.
The third one does have a story, but
well, no, I was talking about like, I mean, because none of them are like too deep with stories, but I don't know, the violence in 3. And I'm not a person that does too well with violence. If it's like stylized violence, I can kind of do it, which it is in John Wick.
Gun fu.
Yeah, but I can do that more so than I can do like watching a World War II movie and somebody gets like their face blown off by a tank.
Oh, you mean like in Modern Warfare? Yeah. A brutality in a game.
Oh, okay. Now I was when I said that I was thinking of Saving Private Ryan in the beginning when they're on Normandy, and the dude that has like the radio is sitting there like calling in stuff or whatever, and then a guy grabs him and is like, he's yelling at him to radio something, and the dude's not moving. He grabs him, pulls him, and rolls the dude over, and his whole face is just. And I was like, that stuff I don't do too well with, but stylized violence, I'm okay with it. And the violence in John Wick 3, from like an action movie standpoint, is it's good. It's good violence. So I mean, it is laid on thick.
It is a great action movie. I mean, if you do want to actually end up making a third episode for part 3, we can do that. I know originally we had talked about combining the 2 into 1, but I know.
Yeah.
With
I kind of think at this point I would. Oh.
With
John, tell the people what your wife is in your phone. Because that is fucking adorable.
What do you have your girlfriend labeled as Jen?
Yeah, it's just her name.
Nathan's a true romantic. Alright, I gotta go, Jen. That's not my name.
Yeah, I got scolded for that. It's not my name.
I'm sorry, what?
I was like, oh, am I talking to the wrong lady friend of mine? Because I have so many. No, but she was like, it's babe. I was like, okay, I'm not doing this.
Okay, Pepe, love you. But yeah, with it being like already an hour and 19 minutes into the episode of the podcast, catching up on all the small topics that had happened while we were off from the podcast, leading up to the John Wick topic, which was the main topic for this one. And wow. And
I spent more time on 2 than I thought I was going to, and pretty much all I did was give a synopsis.
Literally, that's why I was like scrolling through it as you were saying it, and like and going back and mentioning certain stuff.
But the difference is though is like with 2, like stuff didn't. There were certain things that did, like the professional courtesy thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there wasn't, I don't know, there wasn't much that really stuck out. There wasn't much that like impressed me about that movie. The main thing about John Wick 3 is the violence. And there's a lot of things I can talk about that I was just watching it like, oh, fuck.
Which
Damn.
Which with the third one, a lot of people overlook the actual story of that movie, and is like,
There's a story?
yeah, and people are just like, wait, there's actually
I just remember like a hatchet getting thrown in the side of some dude's head.
and knives and throwing and everything else. It's like,
All right, yeah, we got to hold that one off because, dude, that one guy on the floor took 18 freaking blades, 6 of which were in his crotch. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, I guess we will have to save the third one for the next episode.
He got lit up. Dude is on the ground.
And just seeing John throwing a freaking axe just like behind his head and throwing it with both hands.
Oh yeah. I went to a me and Jen went to a festival, the Go Fest, the Go Outside or Go Outdoors, same thing. I don't know which one it was. So the Go Festival, and they had the whole thing is basically beer and shit to keep you active, which I don't know why those two are together, but that's the way they had it set up.
I guess trying to combine downers with uppers.
Yeah, I don't know. But so they had a bunch of different things. Like they had beer vendors, and they also had like people selling like running shoes and mountain bikes and camping equipment. But there was a few stations set up where you could throw hatchets. And I watched people, but the line was way too long, so I didn't do it. But I sat there and watched people, and everybody sucked.
I can tell you one person that's a good hatchet thrower, though.
John Wick.
Besides him.
My mom.
Probably. I mean, you and Charlie gave her a lot of shit as a kid. More so your brother, but yeah.
Who do you know that throws hatchets?
It's a celebrity.
So you don't know them.
Not personally, but obviously.
But I write them letters. Who?
Oh, you know who.
Oh, dear God, John, if you don't tell.
Oh, Aquaman.
Obviously, I know. The viewers need to know.
The old Aquaman himself. Jason Momoa.
Jason Mimosa.
Mimosa. Not Momoa. Mimosa. Mimosa.
I didn't know that was a talent of his.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was only good at looking good.
And looking like he could be the Dwayne Johnson Samoan
He was,
cousin.
I mean, DC movies have largely sucked outside of... I thought Wonder Woman was good.
Wonder Woman was good. Aquaman was pretty good, too.
And yeah, and I was going to say Aquaman. So, like, I don't like the Mantis.
Yeah.
You know? So I understand that his whole helmet deal is super similar to the comics. I get that.
Which...
But this is 2000... When did that movie come out? 18? Or did it come out like early this year?
I believe it was 18.
So we'll just say 2018. We don't need that Mantis. We don't need the Mantis from like the 60s, 70s, whatever. Don't need it. He was so goofy looking. I hated it. That giant ass freaking head. Hated it. But
yeah.
I thought Jason Mimosa as Aquaman
Which
was good. I thought he did a good job.
Which Aquaman also had William Dafoe in it as well.
Yes, Willem Dafoe.
Excuse me. Well, I improperly speak people's names.
So he has done Marvel and DC as well. Also, too.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that because of Spider-Man.
Yeah, he was Green Goblin.
Yep. Or Norman Osborn.
What's Aquaman's name? Like Arthur?
Yes. Arthur.
Yeah.
Arthur. What is his? What's his full name? I don't know. It just says Arthur. It doesn't have a last name. So Arthur Curry. That's his last name.
Curry. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, I thought he did well in that. I couldn't get over Mantis and how dumb he looked.
I mean, they had a whole lot of CGI in that movie. So, like, even the hair was CGI. Like Jason Momoa and the women on set, which apparently they did with
You talking about when like they're in the water?
Yes, which they also did with Brie Olson that played Captain Marvel. There they CGI'd their hair, where they basically just had it pulled up under a little cap, and they CGI'd the hair.
Brie Larson.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Olsen sounded weird to me.
Larson, Olsen. Well.
Mm-hmm.
Getting it confused with the
Olsen twins. Mary-Kate and Ashley. Full House. I understand.
Yes, but you do know their sister actually plays Scarlet Witch, right? Elizabeth Olsen.
Yep.
There you go.
I know everything.
I know everything. I'm infallible. Alright.
Have we covered it all? Where are we coming in at right now? Alright, yes. We need to cut this. It is a dream of mine to get these podcasts at like an hour and a half. And then instead of 2 hours. So
depending on the topics at hand, preferably like an hour and a half, yeah.
So
well, that means we would have to hold off till the next episode for John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum.
I wanted to do that anyway.
Originally, yes.
After seeing how much time we've already used up. I also want to play some Visio games. So, John Wick Chapter 3 will be the main topic of the next podcast, which will most likely be in 2 weeks.
2 week or well, yeah, I guess it would technically be 2 weeks. Like
2 weeks.
Do it every other week, I guess.
Yeah.
Wait, what is 2 weeks? What is the week that you're planning on?
I don't know.
Because that depends on, because that would be towards the...
Yeah, that's the weekend everybody's moving.
I will say I wouldn't be able to do it because my plan is to have my office and everything set back up. And depending on where the internet provider does...
Right.
Whether or not they can just switch it over to the new house.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Or whether they have to send a technician out. My actual plans is to have the office and internet and everything set up so that it could be everything back up and running like normal by that Monday. And obviously, probably, depending on your schedule, that following weekend to do a stream and to do another episode. But I don't know how you're...
that following weekend I'll have my daughters.
And your new townhouse.
Yeah. I'll see what I can get worked out. I don't want to make any promises. But maybe I can. I'll get my dad or somebody, or my mom, to watch the girls. But then, it'll just be a podcast. I won't have the free time. But that way we can get it in and won't have to wait another month.
Yeah, let's not make it pretty much another month because that was far too long.
But I'll see what I can work out. And if not that one, then it's obviously not going to happen in 2 weeks because we're both going to be busy with moving and stuff. Then maybe the following weekend I can find somebody to watch them.
Because this desk will be going in her little library / office that she'll have, and I'll have a new desk that unfortunately I have to put together before I could start setting everything up on it. So that sucks, but it shouldn't take that long. But I will have an office of my own, like to myself, and I will be eventually soundproofing that one. So,
all right. So
this one was kind of limited on
Oh my goodness. We'll just we'll have to play that by ear and we'll figure it out.
So we will definitely
But-
keep everybody upload.
What we could do.
Updated.
Well, no. I mean, I guess I don't know. It doesn't matter. I was gonna say we could jump into some Modern Warfare, and I'll just sit back and spectate and commentate. That'll help you get through the story a little bit more.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. I love the story of that game. It's such a fun campaign.
I do too.
I also love that it's short. My attention span kills me.
Well, I think this episode pretty much showed that. It's just talk about one thing. And squirrel, hey, this came up.
I mean, it wasn't like I just thought of it. It came up on my phone.
I know, but it's just like you jump directly from one to another, and then back into it
Seamlessly.
Uh-huh.
All right. So we're gonna be playing Call of Duty. I have made that decision.
Me. So we'll be playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yes. And also,
Did you? Oh, you got Call of Duty. Why do you get
No.
these games on Xbox?
and if you haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, you really should, because it's a really good game. And I get them. I told you what, I get them on Xbox. I don't get all of them, but
I feel like if it's a game that can be played multiplayer, you should just get it on PlayStation.
you're never online. When have we played? Well, you don't even have a.
But what difference does it make, John? You have both game systems.
I'll eventually get it for the other one, but you already said you don't know how long you'd be without internet in your new place.
Yeah, that's gonna suck.
Because you don't know how that's gonna work. And then also, we played freaking the Division 2 one time. Which that was the whole reason I got it on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
And then you haven't gotten Ghost Recon Breakpoint yet. Which I got it on PS4 because you were gonna get it so we could do multiplayer on that.
I've determined, and this is just based off you and Joe as examples, the easiest way to have time for video games is to be married. Because both of you are married, and both of you have time for video games.
Wait, hold up. When does
Me?
he have time for video
Well,
games?
he plays single player. He doesn't play with us.
I was like, when does he ever play video games?
Because he's stupid.
Because he's always doing stuff with music and whatnot. Like,
Yeah. I mean, well, he plays campaigns and stuff.
mm-hmm.
He doesn't. I mean, he's never been in online. I mean, GTA, but
also got-
he's never been the type to be like, yeah, let's play some. No, that's a lie. Actually, I was about to say Halo. He did play Halo with us.
I also got Red Dead Redemption 2 for PS4 as well, so that we could do the online part of it. Like, I even spent the extra money to get it on PS4 as well.
Good.
Because I originally got it on Xbox
Like
and
a dum-dum.
played through it and beat it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think Joe had it, but you didn't. And then you eventually had it, so I was like, alright, I'll get it. So 3 of us could play online again like we did GTA 5.
So the good news is, with me not having internet for a bit, I'm gonna be playing some stories, man.
Stories that don't involve internet.
What?
Stories that don't involve it being connected to the internet, because some games require you to be connected to it.
Oh yeah. But like,
I don't know how Call of Duty would work without internet, though. Modern Warfare, because I know it connects to the servers, even for the menus.
you can do Call of Duty without internet. But yeah, so I'll be doing God of War, finally.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, finally. Red Dead, finally.
Yeah, you better do Red Dead, man, and do it with the high honor rating on everything, because that
Do it
gives you the
evil.
best. What?
I'm gonna be evil.
Low honor gives you to me like the. Still a good ending, but it ain't nowhere near as like. It doesn't hit you as much as the high honor ending does. If you have like high honor on everything, you have like the absolute best ending that it could give you, and it hits you pretty hard with the feelings because of how you grow attached to old Arthur Morgan. Sure.
Yeah, I will beat it eventually.
That is a long game, though. I'll tell you that. Especially if you do the epilogue after the main story, where you play as John Marsden.
I'm already overwhelmed.
Oh, but yeah. Excuse me. How far did you get in God of War? Or did you get very far?
I got to that lake.
Oh, that massive lake.
Yeah, with the animal in it.
The world serpent.
Mm-hmm.
So you've actually seen the world serpent, and like it revealed itself and moved out the way and all that.
I'm not sure. I don't remember if it did all that. But I do remember pulling up to this little dock thing and going up and then fighting these two enemies that were several levels above me. And I tried doing that over and over and over, and I kept getting my freaking ass reamed.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Just like don't try to do a Valkyrie mission until later on.
All right, end this thing. We can talk about all this while we're playing games.
But we will do part 3, chapter 3 of John Wick in the next episode. We will keep you all updated on that, of when that will be, with both of us moving to new homes the day, or Nathan's not sure yet, but I'll be moving the day after Thanksgiving on that Friday, and he'll either be moving that Friday or that Saturday. So that week is definitely out, and I personally won't be streaming that Friday because of the fact that everything will be broken down and I'll be moving. But we will be back with that, and then after that we really need to start on the Star Wars movies that we were going to do the topics of.
I don't know if we're gonna have time for that.
I don't know if we'll get all of them, but we could start getting some of them in.
Mm-hmm.
At least start it. I mean, it don't have to be completed before episode 9 comes out, because we could see episode 9 and then continue working our way up to episode 9 and then talk about that one. I have no idea what that is. But yeah, that is the plan. And I guess the next big topics that we'll be covering is the Star Wars movies after we do John Wick Chapter 3. And like you said, it'd be probably every other week that we try to do the episodes for the podcast. Primarily going off your schedule with having your daughters and whatnot. But we thank you all so much for watching. If you are watching this live on stream, we will be continuing the live stream and playing some video games after we end the episode of the podcast. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you'll know the next time we upload a video. And make sure you hit that like button too. We greatly appreciate it. And and we always encourage people to come hang out when we live stream it and record it live on stream, so you all can get in on the conversations. And if you all have any questions for us about the topics we're talking about, feel free to. But you can find me on basically all the things at MusicianGamer76, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all that stuff. You find me at MusicianGamer76, and I am a part-time variety streamer on Twitch, and I have gotten back into making episodes, videos, not episodes. I'm still tired. I apologize. I've gotten back into making videos for my YouTube channel as well, so feel free to go check that stuff out. It's greatly appreciated, and I will link everything in the description of the video for the podcast when I post it onto YouTube, where you can find all of our links and all of our pages and whatnot, so you guys can go check it out. And Nathan, where can everybody find you at?
Infamous Wannabe. The spelling you
I'll
can
say you
find
have to
in
spell.
the linkies around your screen somewhere. They're there.
In the description. But
In
yeah.
the description, sure. That's where you got to click that thing. But it's Infamous Wannabe. That is my Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Twitter is the one I use the most. I don't really use Instagram too much, and I scroll Facebook to read things like other people's business. But
and you can also find the Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube channels for the podcast, Try Hard Entertainment Podcast, as well.
oh gosh,
Great outro.
it's already been a day.
Roar.
I had to get up early and go to a youth football game. Shout out to the 7 and 8 year old Rustburg youth football players and coaches. They won the Blue Ridge Bowl, I think is what they're calling it, the Blue Ridge Bowl. Meaning they are like area or regional champions or whatever. My cousin's son is on that team. That's why I went. And they won 44-14.
Woo.
And it would have been a lot worse, but youth rules don't allow slaughters. So when you get up by a certain amount of points, they don't let you have the ball. They literally have you play defense until the other team scores enough to get it under a certain level. Then they'll let you play offense again. And I also think it depends on the time, how much time is left in the game and stuff. But at the end of the game, they weren't playing any offense. For like the second half of the fourth quarter, they weren't playing any offense. But because of that rule, they were up 40-8 or 44. Yeah, 44-8. But then the other team kept getting the ball back, so then it was 14. But anyway, I don't know. Something like that. But shout out to them. Champions. My cousin's son his name is also Nathan. Not to be confused with me.
Part of my name is Nathan.
It's going around. It's an epidemic.
Joe Nathan.
And you're a combination of me and Joe.
Yep. J-O and then Nathan.
But yeah, so that's all I've got. Follow my stuff. Stalk me. I'm good with it. I have beautiful daughters. I post pictures. And I love the Dallas Cowboys. So thanks for checking us out. Appreciate it. We're going to switch over to video games. You can continue watching.
If you're watching it live. And again, I apologize for all the massive pile of boxes behind me.
He's a hoarder.
No. Empty boxes for packing everything up in the house. But as far as the podcast goes, if we aren't able to go live or record another episode before both of us end up moving, the next time that you will see the podcast will be in my new office in the new house, where everything will be set up and look all nice and neat again, and not a big cluster of boxes in the background. But again, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next episode. Bye.